Okay, Boker Tov. So yesterday we did the beginning of Meruba, the beginning of the seventh parak, and we did about a dot. And just to more or less summarize, I'll try. The Mishnah said that kefal applies to anything, even to inanimate objects. But the din of Dalet V'Hei, if somebody steals, again, kefal is to pay double if somebody steals and is caught. So he pays double kefal. And if he stole and he slaughtered the animal, a shor or a seh, a ox or a sheep, so then he has to pay, or he sold it, he stole and he slaughtered, or he stole and he sold, so then he has to pay 5 times an ox. If he stole an ox and slaughtered it, then he has to pay 5 times, and if he was a sheep, then he has to pay 4 times. Chamisha b'kol yishalem tachas, chamisha b'kol yishalem tachas hashor, v'arba tzon tachas haseh. And that only applies to a shor and a seh. That was the Mishnah. There's more than the Mishnah after that. We won't get into that now. And then the Mishnah, the Gemara had a few sugis. One was about Toin Tanas Ganav Pikadon. That not only actual Ganav, but also a Toin Tanas Ganav. Somebody was given a Pikadon. He's giving something to watch. And he claimed that it was stolen. And it comes out at the end that he's the one who stole it. And the Gemara says that's also together with the Shvur, that he swore that he did not steal it and it was stolen by somebody else, and then it comes out that he was the ganav, so then he had to pay kefil also. The first Gemara says he also pays dalet v'hei. The question was if it was it's the Dirk in the Mishnah or not. That's a question. Maybe it's not arrived in the Mishnah, but the B'chir Bava Kamma does say so. After that, the Gemara had a long drasha to say, how do you know that kefil applies to anything? So we'll see the psukim soon, or maybe we could do it right now and see if jump around a little bit. What am I doing here? Trying to get, okay. So these are the psukim on the screen. Why is it not working? Delayed reaction, I'm not sure. No communication. Okay, I'll try in a couple of minutes. Okay. So the next sugi was to learn out how do you know that the din of kefil applies to anything. The pasuk just says about shor chamor seh salma. It doesn't say anything. So the Gemara first tries to try to klal, and it didn't work because we still would not have had enough information to learn out even birds that are tameh, even though there are a lot of extra psukim over here, but it wouldn't be enough to learn out birds that are tameh. Then the Gemara comes out on Samach Gimel Amud Aleph that you learn it out from kol. The word kol is the riboy, and not with a klal try to klal, but it says the word kol, kol devar pesha. So you learn out anything, it applies to anything. The Gemara is a side point. You find that in places where you don't darshan kol to be a ribu. You find it by Ma'aser Sheni that's a klal of product klal. So the Gemara says reasons even over there it says bichol, doesn't say kol. Over here, there's another reason why we have the right reason to think that it's a ribu because it could have said a klal of product klal similar to the parsha before. We'll see that maybe today. Then the Gemara at the bottom of the page said, so if it's a klal and everything is misrabas, why do you have all of these pratim that it says shor chamor seh salma? And the Gemara says Al Kalavida, and the Gemara says Drash at the bottom of the page. It says I think that I went too far over here. One second. The screen on over here.
That's on Samak Dalet.
I went too far. The screen I went too far with the screen. So the bottom of Samach Gimel Amud Aleph said the 4 psukim that we have is to tell you one is Lamute Karka, one is Lamute Avodah, one is Lamute Shtaros, and some was Davasheni Muslim, which I didn't have time today to look into that more. Machabusa wasn't here today, so pretty rough copy. But the 3 Miyutim tell you that you're not chayiv kefil for Karka, Avodah, and Shtaros. And it's something called Davasheni Muslim. Rashi says if it has no simin, something that has no simin also. There's no kefil on it. Taisa doesn't understand why not. I didn't look further into it. Taisa has different shot, but that's Rashi's shot and Davar Sheni Misudim. And then there was a pasuk Al Kol Aveda. That's to tell you of Yochanan's din that Toin Tanis Ganav Aveda also has a din of kefil. If somebody found a lost option, and then he claimed that it was stolen, and he was the one who really kept it. Also, there's a din of kefil.
Rav Yochanan.
That was Rav Yochanan's din. We turn the page Samach Gimel Amud Beis, and the Mishnah, the more brings a Mishnah that says that it applies only if he says nigna, but if he says avad, if somebody had a pikadon, he was given something to watch, and he keeps it for himself, but he says, and he swears that it was stolen, and he comes out, he was the ganab, he's a ton his ganab, he pays kefil. But if he claimed that it was lost, even though as far as the act that he did is really more or less the same thing, he said he kept it himself, he's the ganab, but he didn't steal it because it was given to him as a pikadon, so it's not mamash a ganab. And the reason why he's chayiv is because he was towing his ganab, that he claimed that it was stolen. And for some reason, I don't know the svara, that only if he claimed it was stolen, then does he become a ganab. But if he claimed that it was lost, and we found out at the end, and he swore that it was lost, and then it comes out he's the one who kept it, he's not called a towing his ganab if he doesn't pay kefil.
That's an aveda. This is an
No, he was given. No, that you're in the Gemara before. We went a little bit further, and now you're on the top line. We're in about the fifth line, and over there it says that if somebody said, or at the third line, it says avad. If somebody was given a pikadon and he claimed that it was lost, it's true. I found it, but then I lost it, and it comes out, and Eidu comes saying no, that he really kept it himself. So even though he more or less stole it by saying that but since he didn't say that it was stolen, he said that it was lost. So he's not a toin tanis ganav, he's a toin tanis avad, and that he doesn't pay kefil. But if he said that it was stolen from me,
as a loss, doesn't make a difference.
no, we got it as a pikadon, and then he said that it was lost. He's not a toin tanis ganav, and he doesn't pay kefil. And the Gemara also says you have to have a shvua, and that was the Gemara ended up to say, how do you know? Yesterday's Gemara, we ended up with this Gemara that says, how do you know? Whereas Menani Midi, this was on the fourth wide line, that the Gemara said, how do you know these two things? You said that it only applies to Gnei but not to Aveda, and also you said that it only with a Shvua, Menani Midi. And then it brought this brisa. So we did until the word Bishlama, we're up to the word Bishlama. The first one on the line is Bishlama. That's what we're going to start till today. But that's to do the psukim that the Gemara spoke about yesterday, because the Gemara is going to continue with those psukim. So on the screen, we have the psukim. It's not letting me move over here. I'm not sure why. Not sure why it's not letting me move. It's doing much less than that also. It's not even letting me. I'll try to take this off for a second and then see again if we can put it on. I'm sorry for the technical delay. I'll try again to get it on the screen. I lost it. If I lost it, so then I lost it. Okay, that's bad. I did the preparation and highlighting things. But okay, if we don't.
Come to you by email. Would that help?
And no, I see that I got lost. I see that I don't have it. I don't seem to have it. Let's look in file for a second. Maybe put it someplace.
14. Man.
Didn't have his coffee yet.
You didn't have. Oh, it didn't have discussion. Everyone's copy.
Oh, that's good. I had
Yeah.
the coffee.
I sent you two emails. Can you look at the two emails and see if those are the psukim you need?
We're not hearing. If you could try it again.
I sent you two emails, and maybe in your email, the two emails I sent you are the pasukim you need.
Now something came on. I'm sorry, I still didn't hear you, Levi Yaakov. But let's say something happened now. Let's see if it's working.
I was saying you could check your email. Can you hear me? Can you hear me to check your email? No.
Okay, it's on.
Oh, it's on.
Okay, it's on again. Lev Yaakov, I didn't hear. I'm sorry that we're not hearing well.
Breaks up all the time.
It's not your fault. It's something over here, but I don't know what it is.
He's computer.
That's a nice-
So let me try to get us all on again. But here it shows the signal is good. Here it has all the bars over here. I'm not sure what's bothering it. Why did it still not come on?
Oh, yes, let's signal.
It's only by light.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
It's still not coming on for some reason.
Just like we're trying to do.
Okay. But thank you very much, Lee. But now it came on, so I'll try to do it again from here. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for all this.
For some reason, I think it's not him. I think it's but why only his phone? Nobody.
It's us. It's not. Okay.
We're on Zoom perfectly.
No, he probably has us perfectly, but we don't know him. When we
You don't hear us. This room doesn't hear the Zoom guys, so well.
Oh yeah,
We hear each other.
Okay. Hey, Yaakov, do you see the psukim on the screen?
phone answers we're messing.
Okay, I hope everybody's together.
Yeah.
So these are the psukim that we're talking in Parshas Mishpatim. This week's Parsha. Oh, okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Just a little point in the Parsha, just a little footnote that we start Veilam Mishpatim and people think that we're taking a break from Mamar Sinai and building the Mishkan, learn a little Bava Kamma movements here about Basra, but and you lose the trend. So it's good to read the Parsha straight, the end of Yisro. So this is what Hashem is talking to Moshe Rabbeinu on Har Sinai. And he's the few psukim that I said before, and then that says Hashem tells Moshe on Har Sinai, this is what I want you to tell Bnei Yisrael. Then Moshe Rabbeinu comes down, and then the Parsha Mishpatim, and he says that he wrote down everything that Hashem said, and it was called Sefer Bris. Parsha Mishpatim is called Sefer Bris, and has all these halachas about Shor and Bor whatever, and that he said Nasa V'nishma on this. The Nasa V'nishma says on these psukim. So I think it's awesome. Yeah, look at the psukim. There's mamish fresh psukim. Okay, just to give us back to Bava Kamma, see, we're learning what Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu on Har Sinai, that Am Yisrael said Nasa V'nishma. That's the
That's the
Sefer
first
Bris.
time we see this in Mishpatim, not in Yitro. Is that what I'm
Right,
hearing?
yeah.
That's the Mishnah.
Right.
This is
And it says it on Parshas Mishpatim. Okay, back to the pasuk over here. For some reason, the ones, this is the Goyish Prokim. This is not the Jewish Prokim. And the Parsha starts by the last pasuk of Perek Chaf, and it goes on to Perek Chaf Beis. I don't know what they did over there. It says if somebody steals a shor or if somebody steals an ox or a sheep, and sheep including both goats and sheep, I'm not sure the word in English, and he slaughters it or sells it, so he pays Chamisha Bakwa Yishalem Tachas HaShor, Ba'arbat Tzon Tachas HaSed. That's the pasuk about Daled Vehi. Then it continues. If the guy was found in a tunneling his way in, and he was struck and died, his life is worthless because he was on the way to steal, maybe to kill also, and therefore somebody kills him, he's potter. It's on our subject. So if it was not tunneling, the son was signing on him, and that it was not doing it in a machteres, so then no one should kill him. Damim lo, his life has value. He has to pay. If he doesn't have what to pay, so then he's sold as a slave in order to pay for his geneva. Also not our subject. If the geneva is found in his hands, mishat chamor atzechayim, shor, chamor, or sheep, living. In contrast to what I said before about slaughtering, he has it. Send shnayim yishalem. He pays double. Some people they read it chaim shnayim yishalem. If anything, it's a drash. That's not the pashup shot. Bisharat chamor atzechayim kama shnayim yishalem. That's where it says kefil. The first time that it says kefil. Then it has two psukim that we're not going to do about shein and regel, and then about eish. We're skipping that. Pasuk vav. If somebody gives to his friend money or kalim vessels to watch, and it's stolen from the house of the man, it's stolen from the shomer. If the ganav is found, he should pay twice. It's also not a pasuk about kefil. First, tried to read the pasuk. It sounds like it was stolen from the shomer's house. The shomer was washing something, and the ganav came and stole it, and he's found. Pays shnayim. I just read that the Mimaseh Ganav is a Ganav Mamish. The Gemara is going to talk about that. Is this a Ganav Mamish or is this differently? What's another shot? If the Ganav is not found, So the Shomer says it was stolen. So where's the Ganav? The police go, they don't find any Ganav. So the Shomer says here that he should come to Bezdin, that he has to swear that he didn't take it himself, or he didn't use it. If anything, any kind of thing that he would be using, Al Sheh, Shor, I don't know the word, Davar Pesha, Shor, Hamor, Seh, Salma, any Aveda, that he says that he was there. I don't know. I didn't look into the pshat in the pasuk. So he comes to Bezdin. Asher Yashiyun Elohim Yishalem Shnaim L'Reim. Again, it says the word kefil over here. Yishalem Shnaim is again kefil. Third time that it says kefil. Pasuk continues. We're trying to get to us right now that if somebody gives to his friend to watch a chamor, shor, seh, chopei lishmor, and it died, or meis on nishbar, nishbar in there was an onus that happened. So that this is a Shom Sacha that's chayiv in Geneva of Aveda, but he's put on the onus. So it says he swears was Shem Teh Ben Shneim, and that he didn't use it, he didn't take it himself, and then he doesn't have to pay. I'm just bringing that down because the Gemara uses the pasuk about Shvuah to say that the word Imlo Shalach Yado over here also means that he swears, like it says over here, Shvuah Hashem Teh Ben Shneim. Back to the subject. The Gemara wants to know, how do you know a Toin Tan is Ganef? Now back to the Gemara. If we could jump back to the Gemara wanted to know here in the fourth wide line, fifth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you know the din of Toin Tan is Ganef? And how do you know that's after Ganef and not Aveda? How do you know that has to be with a Shvuah? So the Gemara brings this pasuk. The Gemara brings this pasuk of Imi Motzei Ganef. This pasuk and Imloim Motzei Ganef. So Imloim Motzei Ganef. Everyone darshans. I didn't say this process. When I said it, I didn't say a word about Toin Tan is Ganef. But the Gemara well, it was Toin Tan is Ganef, was it? The Shomer said that it was stolen. That's Gunav Veisayish, and the Ganef is not found. So the Gemara says that that's called. But the Gemara does add on that he would, if in a case where he was found to be the Ganef, that you don't see in the Pashup Shat. He's the one who kept it. And Rashi says V'nikra Bal Bayis Elohim means he had already sworn. Again, somebody's a Shomer, and he says it was stolen. If they find the Ganef, so fine, the Ganef pays twice. If the Ganef is not found, but the Gemara is going to say, but it means that he was the Ganef. He said it was stolen, but he was really the Ganef. He said it was stolen, and he had already sworn. That's the drush. He had already sworn that it was stolen. So then he has to pay Yishalem Shnaim, like it says in the next pasuk. He has to pay. He has to pay. That's what the Gemara. And the Gemara says everybody holds that this second pasuk is referring to Toin Tan is Ganef.
What's the meaning about dog passion?
I don't know.
So any time that something is stolen from a shomer and we don't find the ganef, and let's say if they're a month or whatever, then we go to him and we tell him to swear that you don't have it.
Yes.
Even though we don't have any,
He's a shomer. He's
so we give it a week or two until they look for the ganef, and if they can't find the ganef, then they come to him. They say go to Bezdin,
and he swears that it was
that
stolen, and he's
it's not.
potter. On the kind of a shomer that's potter, like the shomer
Right.
chinim is potter and Geneva Aveda, he says it was stolen, and he swears, then he's potter. But the Gemara is learning out more than the Pashup Shat. The Gemara is saying that it was found with Aiden,
Right.
that he was the one. He has it. He's the one who took it. And he had said that it was stolen, and
Because
he swore that it was stolen. And then it comes out that he stole it. He has to pay kefil.
Because it says when you crowd Bait Elohim.
That's going to be that he had already sworn. When he he already swore that he didn't take it, and it was stolen. And it comes out that he was the Ganav. And the Gemara says, if the Ganav is not found, but it's found that he was the Ganav, he was the Ganav. So this, everyone agrees that this pasuk Zion here is Toin Tan is Ganav. That's really what the Gemara was looking for. That this second part of the pasuk is talking about Toin Tan is Ganav, and here it also says that he swore. That's how the Gemara is happy. Menani Mili. Back to the Gemara. The Gemara said Menani Mili. How do you know this that Toin Tan is Ganav Dafka, not Toin Tan is Salvat? How do you know Dafka if he swears? Because of this pasuk. Tanur Rabban, and I bought a Bryce, bought two Bryces. I bought two Bryces, and the two Bryces I'm really not arguing about pasuk. What is this? Pasuk Zion. They're arguing about pasuk Vav. Pasuk Vav that says Mimotzei Ganav. What does that mean? So one says one Bryce says it's also talking about Toin Tan is Ganav, and it's very, of course, it's not in the Pshat world at all. The Pshat world doesn't even have any Toin Tan is Ganav. But to say the first pasuk is Toin Tan is Ganav and the second part is Toin Tan is Ganav, that's pretty hard. It says two times the same thing. It says Mimotzei Ganav that he was the Ganav. That's how we're going to learn now. So he has to pay kefil. And the Mlayim would say the real Ganav, but he's the Ganav. So saying the same thing twice with the opposite words. One pasuk says the Mimotzei Ganav, Toin Tan is Ganav. The other pasuk says the Mlayim would say Ganav, and he's Toin Tan is Ganav. Very, very hard in the Pshat. Well, not in the Pshat world, when the Drash world, we got to do these things. And the Gemara is going to ask, what do you have to have two psukim about the same thing? And the other Madamar is going to say that the first pasuk is Geneva, Mamish the Ganav, the Pasha the Ganav that we learned the pasuk, and the second pasuk is talking about Toin Tan is Ganav. And now the Gemara is going to toggle between the two Mandarim and ask, What does he have to have 2 times the same thing? And if he doesn't have, he has 2 times Taintanas Ganav, then it doesn't say about a Pasha Ganav. Where's that? So that's going to be the Gemara coming up today now. So if we jump to the Gemara, Bishlama, this is about halfway down. The first word on the line is Bishlama. Bishlama the Omar Chad Ganav Chad Taintanas Ganav. According to the Madam, where it says the first pasuk in Yimot Ganav is talking about a Ganav Mamish. The second pasuk, everyone says the second pasuk is talking about Taintanas Ganav. But the first pasuk, if you say it's talking about a Ganav, so then it's good. Then we understand. One pasuk is about a Pasha Ganav, and one pasuk is about a Taintanas Ganav. But if both of them are talking about Taintanas Ganav, Trey Kroy Lamali, what do you have to have 2 psukim for? The Gemara doesn't ask the simple question that it says, both of them mean the same thing, that the Gemara is not bothered with. In the Drash world, you can do that. But how come you have to have 2 psukim for the same idea? Amri, so they answer, they say in the Besmedrash, one pasuk is to tell us, to emphasize that it only works by Tanas Ganav. But if he would have said Avad, that this Shomer, Pikadon, that he said it was lost, and he swore, and then it comes out that he's the one who had stolen it, he's not considered a Ganav, and he doesn't pay kefil, because he was telling Tanas Avad. Again, I don't know the reason, I don't have any svara why it should be that way. Only Tanas Ganav, not telling Tanas Avad. And how do you know it? Because it says 2 times. One time is to tell you the din, and the other one is to say Dafka. Dafka telling Tanas Ganav, not a telling Tanas Avad. Now the Gemara is going to toggle back and forth. So if you hold that it doesn't say it twice, the Lomiyate, that it's not extra, usually the Gemara would talk much shorter. The Gemara is very long, very elaborate. Usually the Gemara would say V'idach, Vidach. What does the other one say? But here the Gemara speaks out each time the whole drasha. So according to the Mandama that says that one is for a Ganav, only one is Taintanas Ganav. You don't have 2 times Taintanas Ganav. So how does he know this halacha l'muti Taintanas Avad? How does he know that if he was a Taintanas Avad, he does not pay kefil? The answer is Miganav Haganav, because it says Im Yimotzei Haganav, Im Lo Yimotzei Haganav. It says the word by Taintanas Ganav. It says Haganav, the extra hay. The extra hay tells you Dafka Ganav, but not Taintanas Avad. If he was a Taintanas Ganav, he's a din of a Ganav, but if he was Taintanas Avad, he doesn't have a din of a Ganav. Now the question is what other one do with the extra pasuk of Haganav, but the Gemara is going to say it at length. The other one Mandama that it says twice the pasha of Taintanas Ganav, and he knows already that Avad not, because that's why he said it twice. So he doesn't need the extra hay of a Ganav. So why does it say Ganav Ganav my dosh? What does he do with the extra hay of a Ganav? It's necessary for Rabbi Yochanan's drasha. He had this in the beginning of the parak. We just mentioned today in the beginning of the Sikkum that not only is a Toin Tanas Ganav pay kefil, a Toin Tanas Ganav is also going to pay dalad v'hei. If somebody got a pikadon and he didn't just put it away in his back closet, he slaughtered it or he sold it, and he swore that it was stolen, and then we find that he's the one who has slaughtered it, so then he pays dalad v'hei also. Not only a Ganav Mamish pays dalad v'hei, but even a Toin Tanas Ganav. So you have to have a special Haganav to say that, to include also that Toin Tanas Ganav also pays dalad v'hei, not only kefil, also dalad v'hei. And that was a Yochanan. We said before, is it Meduik in the Mishnah or not? But Lamais, that's what Yochanan says. And what's the Mokar going to be? He's going to learn it from the extra hay. But then the more asks back on the other one, he doesn't have extra hay. Well, the man Dama Chad Ganav Tanas Ganav, the High Ganav Ganav Afkel and Mutek Tanas Avad, he used it already. The man Dama that says that one is for a Ganav, he had to use up the hay already of the Ganav to tell you that Tanas Avad does not have a din of kefil. So how does he know this new din that Tanas Ganav also pays down with the hay? How does he know this din? Rashi says that the stups are coming next to each other. The din of Ganav and Tanas Ganav are next to each other. And once you know that there's a din of or the din of Dalad V'Hei, so once you know one, you know another one. Also, you don't have to have a special pasuk. Once you know that a Tanas Ganav pays kefil, a Tanas Ganav is also going to pay Dalad V'Hei. More or less, that what do they call it? A thread. That thread of discussion is over. And the kasha started it that what do you have to? The one who says that both of them are Tanas Ganav, what do you have to have 2 times Tanas Ganav? But the Gemara said the answer, then kasha back and forth. What do you do? What do you do? And we finished that thread. Now the Gemara starts again and turns to the Madama that says that both of them are Tanas Ganav, but there's no pasuk about Ganav. Why not? There's no pasuk about Ganav. How do you know Ganav by yourself? So I would make 2 dots over here if everybody would like. If not, You don't have to. And the Gemara starts, Ishlam alaman de Amar, Chad v'ganav v'chad tointan ganav shapir. If one pasuk is talking about, you must say a ganav is a ganav. Lo you must say a ganav is a tointan ganav. So very nice. You have a pasuk for a ganav also. Elam andama tavai v'tointan ganav. Ganav asmamanove. But the one that says that both pasukim are talking about tanis ganav, there's no pasuk for ganav. How do you know a ganav? So the Gemara says, of course you know a ganav. If a tointan ganav is a chayiv kefil, so surely a tointan ganav. He's a artificial ganav. The other one's a real ganav. If you might say that you can make a kal v'chomer if a tointan is ganav pays kefil, so surely a ganav pays kefil. But no, something you learn from a kal v'chomer is not stronger than you think you're learning out from. And if a ganav is only going to be as much as a tointan is ganav, mal halan b'shvua, avkan b'shvua. This is my mistake yesterday that Avnisson corrected me that a ganav himself is chayiv kefil even if there was not a shvua. A ganav stole it, and they even come and say he stole it. He pays kefil, nothing to do with a shvua. I thought that a case was only a shvua, but it's not true. A tointan's ganav is only pays kefil with a shvua, but a ganav himself not. And the more is asking if there's no pasuk about ganav, so then you're only learning it from tointan's ganav. Then maybe that mistake would have been right. That a ganav is also going to be chayiv kefil only if he swears.
What's the case in the shvua?
The shvua of when do you need a shvua?
No, I'm saying what's the case where he wouldn't use if it.
He stole it. He stole it, and then for some reason they accused him, and he said, "I swear I didn't steal it."
So
and then they found that he did steal it. Right. That would be theoretically the din of kefil by a ganav mamish. Like the truth, the din is not like that. The din is even if he didn't swear.
So what's the case that he didn't swear?
He stole it, and they didn't come to say that he stole it.
Oh,
That's no shvua.
The punch.
No shvua.
Yeah.
They found again if he's moda on his own before the Edom come moda knas potter. That's true. But if he wasn't moda,
I thought if he doesn't have the shua, then he has to pay. If he doesn't want to take the shua, if he says I don't want to do this, take the shua.
That's the yeah.
But a regular ganav, if he's a ganav, then they found that he's a ganav. So there's no if they accuse him as a ganav, there's no shua then. Someone comes and says,
"No, he has to. If he doesn't want to make the shua, then
why should he make a regular ganav?
A
shomer. Yes, that's true. So it's not. So then he has to pay.
Right. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
But by regular ganav, if he stole, and they didn't come and say that he stole, so he has to pay kefil. And the Gemara is asking if you have no pasuk for that, you're only learning it out to kal v'chomer from tointan's ganav, so then it's only by a shvua. So maybe only in the case where they accused this guy of stealing and he swore that I didn't steal. Then we found that he did steal. Maybe over there is going to be kefil, and it's not true. It's kefil even if he didn't swear. So you need a pasuk for that. So that's the Gemara's kash. If you have a pasuk for ganav and tointan's ganav, you have a pasuk even without a shvua. But if both of them is tointan's ganav, you have no pasuk for a ganav mamish. The answer is not following with a ton of the Chizkiah. You learn it out from the following brisa that Chizkiah said over, and it's going to be a long brisa now. With a lot of intricacies. But Rashi says the interesting thing, Mamish, let's go to the screen again, put the pasuk, go to the pasuk a second. And Rashi refers us to this pasuk Gimel. But we're handling with this pasuk Vav over here. Im Yimatzeh Ganav, it says Shalom Shnaim, it says here about paying kefil. And does it mean a ganav mamish or does it mean tointan's ganav? If it means a ganav mamish, very nice. A ganav pays kefil. If it means a tointan's ganav, both of the psukim. Im Yimatzeh, Lo Yimatzeh, pasuk Vav and Zayin talking about tointan's ganav. How do you know a ganav pays kefil? So the Gemara is going to say pasuk Gimel. Here it says that so it's talking about this ganav here that I started in the beginning. That if he slaughtered it, he pays dalet behay. If it's found with him alive, so then he pays kefil. So here it talks about a ganav that pays kefil, no shvua. Very simple. The Gemara could have been l'chora one line. The Gemara could have brought this pasuk to say that how does he know a ganav pays kefil from pasuk Gimel, and everything's fine. Could have skipped the whole amud. But the Gemara is going to bring a long brisa with a kashas and terutzim, and then again the brisa. And Rashi says the reason is because we want to explain why you need all these words and how do you know that Mimar even things that it doesn't say. So it's extra credit on a bonus that we didn't ask for it. We just asked how do you know that a ganav pays kefil without a shvua, and they should have brought pasuk Gimel. But we're going to bring pasuk Gimel with all the drushes, and it's going to be exciting. But for the question alone, it could have been enough to swing the pasuk alone. And here the Gemara goes. Back on to the Gemara. How do you know a ganav pays kefil without a shvua even? We learn enough from the pasuk that Tana de Bechizkiah is going to explain. The Tana de Bechizkiah. Yomar shor ugeneva v'akol b'chlal. I wonder if I could put the screen both at the same time. Okay, that'll be a little bit more advanced. I don't know how to do that. But the Gemara is going to ask, let's just go on the pasuk for a second. And then this pasuk that says, although some of it is highlighted in gray. Imi himotzei simotzei biyado hageneva mishor ad chamor ad seh chayim. The Pashup Shap, we said that chayim is coming on all of them. That the shor, chamor, and seh are living, not that slaughter. If they're around, they're found, they're not sold, they're in his hand. They must say biyado, the geneva that he stole, be it a shor or a chamor or a seh, and they're alive. Shnayim yishalim. But the Gemara is going to make some kind of a cloud product klal over here, and learn out that it doesn't only apply to the specified items that it says, shor, chamor, and seh. It's going to apply to other things also. And the Gemara is going to explain how come you need so many psukim to tell you everything. And the Kitzur is going to say everything. Everything is b'chlal. And it's going to take time to figure that out. So the Gemara starts on the bottom. Look, wrong one. The Tanakh Bechizkiah, Yom HaShor Geneva. Im Yomotzei B'yotzei Motzei B'yado HaGeneva Mishor. Let us just say those two psukim. Let us just say Geneva and Shor. V'akol b'chlal, everything would have been included. What do you have to have more psukim for? Why does it have to say Chamor, Seh, Chayim? The answer is because if it only would have said Geneva and Shor, I would have said that it only includes a thing similar to a shor. The Gemara makes it is looking at it as if it's a klal or product klal. Now the truth is that it's not true. A little footnote: this is not the whole Gemara doesn't make sense at this point because it's not a klal or product klal. When do you have to have when is it kain up front? Only when it's a klal before, klal after, and a klal in the middle. Then you say the klal or product klal and the klal. How do you go? Klal or product. Klal, it doesn't say over there. And Rabbi Shmuel Omer says klal prat.
Even when I'm reading it, it's hard to say.
What?
Even when I'm reading it, it's hard to say.
It does say in the Rabbi Shmuel Omer.
Yeah.
Klal prat, klal prat, and b'chal mashav prat. It doesn't tell you the first two. Klal prat and b'chal mashav prat. Only the prat. Like if he say anything, but then anything, then it gives examples. There's only the examples. Klal prat and b'chal prat klal is klal. And we don't know. Okay, there might be a kasha. Why does it have to say if you don't need it? Whatever. If you only have two, klal prat is only the prat. Prat klal, only the klal. We should lose everything. Klal prat klal is gain up front. The Gemara is talking about this pasuk as if it's a klal prat klal, and the Gemara says going to ask soon in about 10, 15 lines. It's not a klal prat klal, but we're going to ignore that point right now. We're looking at that it would have been able to be gain up front, and the Gemara is saying, you know why? The chorus shor would have been enough. Geneva is a klal. Shor is a prat. And make believe there's another klal also, and everything similar to the shor would be included, which would have been the thing which is kosher for a korban. That's a more chashav animal. Maybe the din of kefil only applies to an animal which is kosher on the mizbeach, which would be a kosher shor and seh, either an ox, a sheep, or a goat. Those are the three animals that go on the mizbeach, and you want to know that a kefil applies to other things also. So that's why. So that's the Gemara's kasha. That's what the Gemara says that. It wouldn't be enough to say only Geneva and Shor. Maybe I'll underline it, maybe as we go along. The Gemara is asking Shor and Geneva is enough. The Gemara answers that would have only been Krav L'Gabi Hamazbein. There's a couple of words on the page. Ma'ishlach Lahavi, say, what do you mean that you'd have to have Shor and Geneva to teach you another thing which is kosher for a korban? Like I said, right, a sheep. That's what it is. A Shor and Seh includes goat and a sheep. So you wouldn't have to have all these psukim. The pasuk continues. The Gemara on top of the page. Amor. It says Seh also. So it's right that Shor and Geneva wouldn't have been enough. You also have to have Seh. But once it says Seh, then it says Beferish. It says Shor and Seh. So you know everything already. So how come it has to have the klal, the product klal, to teach you more than that? So if the only thing you'd want to be marba would be only a thing which the kosher for the mizbeach. So it says Beferish Shor and Seh. Amani Mekayim Geneva, the Rabos called Dover. So the pasuk that makes a cloud, trying to cloud out of it, must be coming to tell you things that are not kosher for the mizbeach, everything else. So if you have Shor and Seh, you'd know the favorish that it says things that are kosher for the mizbeach, and the fact that it's a cloud, product cloud, is teaching you more. But the Gemara says Yoma Shor Seh Ugeneva Vakol B'Chlal. What? I'm sorry. Amani Mekayim Geneva, the Rabbos called over. These words I don't get exactly. Yom Shor B'Seh Geneva Vakol B'Chlal. So why do you need more psukim? It means we're coming to darshan more than that. If I'm sorry, the one that's in kasha now. I think that if you have a cloud, product cloud, but the things that it says beferish, Shor and Seh, is already telling you things that are kosher for a korban, and now the gneva is coming to be marba more. So is everything included already? Do you need it? Is that enough, or do you need more psukim? The Gemara says no, you do need more psukim because if it only would say shor and seh, I would think that, and even with a klal or product klal, it's going to be marba more than a shor and a seh. Maybe it's going to be marba more. What's going to be more? That is something which has kedushas b'chor, and that is the kosher animal, shor v'seh, and also a chamor. Chamor is one tamei animal that also has kedushas b'chor. So maybe the klal of maybe the extra klal is only going to be marba chamor. So therefore, you wouldn't know everything. It's not enough just to say shor seh and the klal, because you would have been limited. The klal only would have been marba one more step, which would be even a kedushas b'chor, which is a chamor, but you wouldn't have known more things. So you need more psukim. The more says ma'ishlach lo v'chamor kishom v'chamor v'chamor omor, but tamani mekayim gneva the rabbis called over. It says chamor also. Now we're putting on the word chamor also. It says in the pasuk gneva is the klal, and then you have shor, seh, and chamor. So the things that it says already beferish are things that are kosher for a korban, or at least not, but it's kodesh b'bechora. So what is the klal coming to be marba more? Everything else. But the Gemara says no. Yom hashor v'chamor v'seh v'gneva v'kol b'chlal. So if so, you don't need any more psukim, and we do have more psukim. Why do you need more psukim? You would say that it's true there's a cloud coming to be marba more than a shor chamor and a seh, but maybe it's only one step further, which means that it's going to be marba any kind of living animal, even if it's not kodesh b'bechora, even horses, whatever, things that are not kodesh b'bechora, that's worse than a chamor. But you would not know everything else. You would not know more than Bali Chaim. And therefore you have to have the cloud to tell you even things that are not in the category of Bali Chaim. But the Gemara says still there's a kasha. Ma'ishlach lahavi shal Bali Chaim kishomer chayim harei chaim amor hamani mekayim gneva the rabbis called over. End of the brisa. So that Gemara looks at the word chayim that it's also in the list of pratim. If you go to the pasuk a second, can we jump to the pasuk? Oh, I missed it. Did we jump to the pasuk? Okay, I hope that's on for everybody on Zoom. That the Gemara uses the word Chaim also. Genev is a klal. Shor Chamor and Seh seem to be pratim, and the Gemara says that it's going to be a klal, a product klal, and you're going to be marba more things. And the Gemara came out already that you're marba all bali Chaim, but the Gemara says Chaim is also another prat. The Gemara looks at the word Chaim as a prat, not as a klal or anything. It's another prat, and not just saying that it's living like the Pashup Shat. It's another prat. And the Gemara says if you make this also one of the pratim, so now the Bali Chaim we know already. The shor would have told us kosher for a korban. The Seh tells us even if it's not kosher for a korban. The chamor tells you even if it's not kodesh b'bechora. And the Bali Chaim says even if it's not kodesh b'bechora. And the Chaim is telling you the ferish even all Bali Chaim. So what is the klal product? How come to be marba more? Even things that are not Bali Chaim. The Brisa seems to say that if you have all these psukim, geneva, shor, chamor, seh, and chayim, we're going to learn out everything. And that's what the Gemara brought down the Brisa for, to say that this person tells you that you pay kefil with even without a shvur. There's no shvur over here. That's all the Gemara really wanted, this pasuk. But it Agav told you the drushes of all these different words, why it's necessary to learn out that everything pays kefil. And not only what it says, not only a shor, chamor, seh, and something which is living, and Bali Chaim, even more. That's the end of the explanation of the Brisa so far. The Gemara continues back into the Gemara. Amamar. So this was the question that I put in as a footnote before, that the Brisa imagines that it's a klal, a product klal, and the Gemara's kasha is going to be, it's not. It's no. Where's another klal over here? Amamar. Yom shor geneva. The Brisa started off by saying that if it would have said shor geneva, it would have been a klal, a product klal. You would have said anything which is similar to a shor. The Gemara says it doesn't say that. It doesn't say mix of shor geneva, geneva v'shor. The Brisa seemed to have fooled us. It said they should just say shor geneva in that order. Now, there's a very big difference by klal and prat. The prat to klal, a very big difference what order it is, because of klal and prat is only a prat. Prat to klal is the klal. So here the Brisa quotes the pasuk in the wrong order. It says it should just say shor geneva. It doesn't say shor geneva. It says geneva then shor. If you must say do ha geneva mishor at chamor. So it says the word geneva, then it says the word shor. So it doesn't say shor geneva. It says geneva v'shor. Why is the Brisa quoting the pasuk wrong? Maybe the Brisa means to say that it should have said shor and then geneva. That the Brisa means if it would have said, theoretically, ilu nama shor geneva. That's what the Brisa means, if it would have said. And it would have learned out that anything which is similar to a shor. But that's not true. If it would have said shor and geneva, it wouldn't have been anything which is similar to a shor, because it would have been a product cloud. Product cloud would have included everything. If would you be able to say, if it said shor geneva, would you be able to say that you learn anything which is similar to the prat? Have a shor prat, a geneva cloud, prat to cloud, nasa cloud, most of all the prat, the law is of a prat to cloud that is a the Shabu Komili, go with the cloud. Prat to cloud. So if it would have said shor geneva, it wouldn't have been only a thing similar to a shor, it would have been everything. So the Brisa is fooling us. What does the Brisa mean to say? The Brisa doesn't mean to say shor and then geneva. It means the way the pasuk says geneva b'shor. That it would have said first geneva, then shor, the klal of prat, and you would have learned anything which is similar to the prat. That's also not true because klal of prat ein mechal ela masha b'prat. Mi matzasam takol b'klal or prat ma prat mefurish. If it would have said klal of prat, would you be able to say that everything is included or even things that are similar? That's not true. When you have a klal of prat, have a like neighbor klal, the short prat, and what's the din of a klal of prat? Klal of prat, ein mechal ela masha b'prat. Show in bidech min alo. So all this was a long kasha. How long did it take? Very long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10 lines to get the kasha. The kasha is simple. The kasha is the Brisa makes it sound like if it would have said Shor and Geneva, somehow, whichever one unjumbled it, somehow it would have been a klal of prat or klal. It's not. The most is a klal of prat, prat or klal, whatever you want to, whichever order you want it to be. But you're never going to get that it's a klal of prat or klal. And the only time that you say kaina prat is when it's a klal of prat or klal. When it's a klal of prat, it's only the prat. When it's prat or klal, it's everything. So what does the Brisa mean to say that if it would have been Shor and Geneva, whichever order you want, it would have been something similar to the Shor? It's not true. Either it's a prat or klal or it's a klal of prat. So Amar Rava. Tana achayim kasamachle. The Brisa is relying on the word chayim. So we go back to the pasuk, and this pasuk now is going to be there's a geneva here. How do I have a pointer? Can I do something here? What do I have? I need a tool that has a pointer. What do I have? Here's something over here. This geneva is going to be a cloud, and this chayim, I don't see my pointer. Where did it go? This little one over here, chayim. The one is making this word chayim to be a cloud, and in between you have shor, chamor, and seh. So that's why it's cloud product cloud. So even though the Brisa didn't mention the word chayim in the beginning, it just says geneva b'shor. It really means geneva shor and chayim, and therefore the cloud and prod and the cloud. That's how Gemara is explaining the Brisa that there is a second cloud also. Now I turn this off, but okay. Back to the Gemara. The Brisa is referring on the word chayim, that chayim is going to be a cloud. So Gnev is a cloud, chayim is a cloud. In between you have these shor, chamor, and memela cloud product cloud. You meant to say cloud product cloud. The most side problem that this is not a kosher cloud product cloud. It's not similar. One says Gneva, one says Chayim. It's not the same word. It's not the same idea, not the same subject. So the more thinks that's not a valid cloud product cloud. The answer is no. There are times that that's good enough. Tana to Rabbi Shmuel, who the Chagav Nador, High Tana, whatever. Tana to Rabbi Shmuel, who the Chagav Nador is called Prati. That is a valid, even though it's not exactly the same word. If it has the same idea, it doesn't have to be the same word. You're allowed to use a cloud even if the two cloud are not exactly similar. So now the Brisa Gemara is going to go over the whole Brisa again, interjecting that there's a klala basra also, and it starts. So it puts in more into the Brisa than it said. The Brisa didn't speak about the word in Matzeh. If you go to the pasuk a second, jump to the pasuk, and here it is. So we didn't talk about this till now, but now we're going to talk about it also. So you have here, that's what the Brisa doesn't mention anything about these words, but Rava's explanation is putting these words into it also. And I think. Now let's see how that works. The Bryce's question is, I mean, must say lovely. Why does it have to say must say? Why it let it be enough to have a cloud product cloud? Yom Ashor, Ugneva, B'chayim. If I would have said a cloud product cloud, it would have been enough. You have the two clouds, Gneva at the beginning, Chayim at the end, Shor in the middle, and I call B'cloud. So and that was no to the whole thing over again. That Shor maybe Kravak Abiyam Mizbeach says can tell you more than that. Chamor Kodesh B'Bechora, live animals. He wants to go through the whole Seder again. But now it's going with a two klalim, and the kasha is going to be matzeh si matzeh. And the main kasha of the Brayso is what do you have to have your matzeh si matzeh for? Why is it not enough to have shor b'nei b'chayim? Everything would have been included. The Gemara says no. Either came and Yisrael, my part before Shabbat Kav Gabi Amizbeach, I've called Kav Gabi Amizbeach. That only would have included things that are kosher korbanos. Not only a shor. It's true. If it was not only the prat, it's going to be keina prat, but that would have only included more things that are kosher for the mizbeach. But the Gemara says no. It would have been enough to say another word then. Ma'ishlach lahavi. Se means the more saying that's the reason why you have to have matzeh and matzeh to be marble more things. That's not true. You have shor and se. Ma'ishlach lahavi se kishor mesa aresa amor. To say that it's just coming to be marble things that are kosher for the mizbeach, you don't need to have the matzeh and matzeh. You know that wouldn't have been shor alone because it says se also. So that says beferish. So the people of cloud product cloud must be coming to tell you more. Hamani Mekayim Geneva. What do you have to have the cloud prat for? Whenever it says Geneva, it means Geneva and Chaim, that you have a cloud before, a cloud after, it's coming to tell you more. The rabbi is called over. So therefore the kasha is Yom Geneva V'Shor V'Sev V'Chaim V'Kol V'Cloud. Again, you don't need the matzeh because if you have a cloud and cloud, you have two cloud Kamma, cloud bash. You have Geneva in the beginning, Chaim at the end, and you have Shor V'Sev in the middle. That already tell you everything, even more than things that are kosher for the mizbeach, because it would have been enough to say one prat, either shor or seh. Why to say both? To tell you even more than things that are kosher for the mizbeach. So why didn't you must say matzeh? And my answer is the Brayso whatever. Ilu keni yisi ma prat before shtav v'kodesh v'bechora. I've called up v'kodesh v'bechora. I would have only been marred by one more step, which would have been a chamor that is kodesh v'bechora. So it's true that you would have known more than a shor and a seh. I would have became a prat. I would have said a chamor also because that's kedushas before, but I wouldn't have known everything yet. That's why you have to have the matzeh to tell you even things that are not a chamor, not kodesh b'chora. But the Gemara says no. You still don't need a matzeh. Ma'ishlach lahavi chamor. All you want to be marba more. You would have thought that you're being marba more from shor and seh with the cloud, product cloud would have been a chamor. But it says chamor. Kishamah chamor, avei chamor omor. That's a precious question. You don't need the cloud, product cloud to be marba chamor. It says so. It says shor, seh, and chamor. Amani Mekayim Geneva. What do you have to have the cloud prat for? Cloud product cloud. The rabbi was called over to be marked by other things. So the kasha comes back. Yom Geneva, V'Shor, V'Sev, V'Chamor, V'Chayim, V'Kol B'Cloud. What do you have to have? You must say matzeh. The Brayso is starting with a kasha. Why do you must say matzeh? Is trying to answer the kasha. And the Brayso keeps on saying it's not to answer the kasha because you don't have to have the must say matzeh to tell you that everything is going to be included. Because if you have the two cloud, Geneva in the beginning, Chayim at the end, and in between you have Shor, Seh, and Chamor, that tells you everything. Because to tell you these three things alone, it says with Farish. So it's coming to be marba more things, Ka'ena Prat. So it's coming to tell you even things that don't have Kedushas B'chor. Much is still not enough. So the Gemara says, no, I would have known only Balei Chaim. I wouldn't have known everything. I would have thought Shor, Chamor, and Seh, and has cloud product cloud, but not only Shor, Chamor, and Seh, anything which is similar. But anything which is similar is only going to be if it's a living being, other animals. But I wouldn't know objects, I wouldn't know things that are inanimate. But the Gemara says, Ma'ishlach lavi, Shah Balei Chaim, Kishu Omer Chaim, Arei Chaim Omer, Manim B'Kam Geneva. The rabbi was called over. The Gemara is explaining the Brayso and adding up with the kasha that you don't need a matzeh because it says the word Chaim also. The Gemara is using Chaim. Interesting how the Gemara is using the word Chaim also as a klal, it seems, and also as a prat. That it tells you the word Chaim. I'm not sure it's called a prat, but it means that it says this cloud that has the word Chaim tells you already anything that's living. We looked at the Pashup Shat that it means that it's not chechted, it wasn't sold or slaughtered, it was living. But the Gemara sees it as saying anything which is living. So again, I don't need a matzeh. This, if I would have said these words, Geneva, Shor, Chamor, Seh, and Chayim, I would have known anything which is living. And I don't need a matzeh, and I would have known, I would have known that anything is living from the word Chayim. And the fact there's a cloud, I'm going to make it also into something kain, even something which is not the same as it says, not exactly the same. What's it going to be marked? But even things that are not living beings, even inanimate objects. So why do you have to have your matzeh? And this is coming back to the end of the Brayso. The Brayso is looking for the words. What do you have to have your matzeh in the beginning of the pasuk? So we turn the page, Talmud Beis. Yachi Shapir Kakashale. So then the Bryce ends up with a kasha. And the Bryce doesn't say a teretz. The answer is Mishum. You have to fit this all into the Bryce. Rava said this. Yossi so much is bothering him, and now we don't have an answer. And Mishum this late pircha. The Rava was called Mishum this late pircha. There's a pircha on the way that we said if it would say Geneva and Chaim and Shor Sech Chaim more in the middle, it wouldn't be enough. The Rava was called Bava Kamma la Mechlal Basra Klal Gufe Chaim Ksivve Klal Prat Klal Ma'Kam anyway. You don't have a Klal Prat Klal anymore. The whole way, that's what I slipped while I was saying that. I said that doesn't make sense. I think Gemara says that's the question. We're using the word Chaim, not a legal move. On one hand, we're going to say that Chaim is going to be the prat that's going to tell you anything which is living. On the other hand, that's the klal of Basra. That's what you use Gneva at the beginning, Chaim at the end. So you don't have a klal. You don't have a klal, uprat klal. If you use the word Chaim as a prat to tell you anything which is living. If you're going to use the word Chaim to tell you something which is living, you don't anymore have a klal basra, so you can't remind anything more than what it says. That's why you have to have himatzei simatzei, and that's now going to become that those are going to be the klalim. Himatzei simatzei is going to be the klalim, and everything else is going to be the pratik. The Gemara stops off and says that's not good. That's not called a klal, a product klal. It'd have a klal, and then the pratim. You have himatzei simatzei. The Gemara is using that as the two klalim, and then you have all the list of pratim. That's not a kosher. That's not a valid klal, a product klal. Ravina kedami b'marbaba. Ravina said that's what they say in Eretz Yisrael. Kol makom shata motzei shnei klalos asmuchim zelazeh hatal prat b'neim v'duneim v'donim v'klal prat that you could. It is a valid klal prat. A new chiddush. It's in Eretz Yisrael that if you have himatzei simatzei, let's look at the pasuk a second. If you what am I doing? This one. The Gemara calls now that himatzei simatzei is the two klalim, and everything else here in the middle is going to be pratim. It's again, I can't see my. Where did it go? Two little for me. Se, chamor, shor. All these are the pratim, and now himatzei simatzei is going to be himatzei. I don't know how to do this. Where did it go? Himatzei is going to be the first klal, and himatzei is going to be the second klal, and it's you're allowed to do that. It's a legal move. You put himatzei in the beginning, himatzei at the end, and all these things are going to be the pratim in between. That's what the Gemara is going to do now.
They call klal the prat.
It's called klal, and then prat, and then klal again. Even though
where's the last one? Oh, you go back to the
himatzei. Yeah. We would think you're not allowed to do that. In Eretz Yisrael, they said it's okay. And now the Gemara goes through the whole thing again, and it's going to make each one as if it's locked, sandwiched between the two himatzei simatzei. Shadi shobin himatzei l'simatzei l'asui imai. What is shor going to be? Klal prat klal. Himatzei shor timatzei. The Gemara says, we're not going to say that the klal product klal of shor is going to tell you other kinds of living beings, because later on that's going to be the word chayim. It says the word chayim is also one of the pratim, and that says ready beferish bali chayim. So you don't need the kain prat of shor. That's going to tell you even things that are not living. With Roshachi, dash in the following way, that is, what do you have? Himatzei and simatzei is on the two sides, and you have shor in the middle. That's the first one. That you have himatzei, simatzei, the two kolalim, shor is in the middle, and it's going to be kain prat. What are you going to learn out? Anything which is a portable, and also that it's actual value, and that's going to exclude karka, avodim, shtoros. That's not. Then second, go get right there. Shadi chamor beni matzeh. You can do this in each word. You're going to take each word and put it at a prat between the two kolalim. Take chamor between himatzeh and simatzeh. Lasuyim. You lasuyi davar shein bali chayim. Mishar nafka. We just finished learning out things that are not bali chayim. And even we said anything which is davar matat l'gufa mammon is already included. What do you have to have from chamor and more? Ella lasuyi davar misuyam. To tell you that. What? That a davar mesuyam? That's the davar mesuyam, not a davar she'eino mesuyam. As we said, according to Rashi, that it means that it has a simon. Yochi sel amali. What do you have to have? Se. We have shor and chamor, and now we don't need se anymore. You have chaim also. You don't need se. Ela ribo miyat v'ribo, who can tell the Rabbi Shmuel, the tell the Rabbi Shmuel, b'mayim beis pamim, ez a klal uprat, ela ribo miyat v'ribo, riba akol. My Rabbi called Mili, period. So the Gemara changes, at this point, the Gemara changes, says that's not a klal uprat, a klal, because there wouldn't be enough things to darshan from all these pratim. So the Gemara says we're going to learn it not as a klal uprat, a klal, but rather as a ribo miyat v'ribo, and it has a different way of learning. When you say ribo miyat v'ribo, it's Rabbi Kol Mili, and only certain exceptions. It's not many more things. Yachi Kol Hani Prati Lamali. If you're saying that it's a riboy, so then what are these pratim coming to exclude? Chad lemute karka, v'chad lemute avadim, v'chad lemute shtoros, v'neva v'chayim lechadirav, damar, achi lekeren ke'en shegana. So I'll stop here because I don't know the rest. So we'll continue now tomorrow from Yachi Kol Hani Prati Lamali. The Gemara, according to Rashi explained, the Gemara is mamish on a side point. All the Gemara wanted to know, I mean, it's a long side point. It's mamish intricate, confusing drasha. And Rashi says the real point we wanted to say is, how do you know a Ganav pays kefil even if without a shvua? And the answer is because of this pasuk Gimel. But once the Gemara wants to bring it, it brings ready the drasha to say why you have to hold the psukim for. So we're darshaning. We tried the klal, and that's what the Rashi seems to say. It didn't work because I get the pasuk on again. The pasuk shot in the pasuk didn't work because he didn't have a cloud. The Rashi talks about these words. Let's try to get this on again. The Gemara learned originally it says Gnei ben Shor, and then it says Gnei ben Shor Hamor, Gnei ben Shor Hamaseh, but it didn't have any cloud basra. The Gemara says that the word Chaim is the cloud basra. Also, it didn't work, because you have to have the word Chaim over the end of the Russia that I said about Bali Chaim, and Bali Chaim using it as a fret. You're not using it as a klal. So the Gemara invented into the brisa that he must say Simasa are going to be the two klalim, and then we started figuring out what all the pratim are going to be, and it's also not working. And at the end of the whole thing, the Gemara is changing it to a ribu yamiyat, and that's what up to now I'm going to change the drasha. But the Rashi puts all this onto a cruise on the side, because the real thing we wanted is a pashup shot that it says here that there's a shnayim yisham, there's a kefil for a ganav. What it says exactly, that's already extra credit. But the point is to say that even if you say that both come over here, he must say ganav and he must say ganav, both of them are turned as ganav. There's a fresh pasuk that talks about a regular ganav that he also pays kefil.
Yes, it is kind of evaded us. Even
Right, he's not called a ganav. Right. I think so.
He's wrong.
Right. Excellent.
Thanks, tonight, 7 o'clock, no?
Good decision.